Salam Toto. Today we are going to present the database system and information retrieval project. And our group member have Wong Quan, Muhammad Akbar Hazmie bin Amir, Desmond Yak Teik Jun, dan Xuan Jie. The main purpose of this project is to practice how to use the entity relation diagram, normalization, and class diagram in a database system. The system is used to manage purchase orders, suppliers, products, and order details in a more organized way. By applying normalization, the system can reduce repeated data and help keep the data more accurate. This project also helps students to understand how real business activities can be changed into database tables. And the next one is about the project breakdowns. A manual purchase order process that relies on paper or Excel often leads to duplicated data, inconsistent information, and difficulty managing records. Supplier and product details may be repeatedly entered across multiple orders, and you are making update harder and increasing the chance of errors. To solve these problems, a purchase order management system is proposed. It stores supply, product, purchase order, and order item data in a structured database. It will helping to improve data accurately, reducing duplication, and increase overall efficiency in management purchase order. So now we move to the next.
Okay, now we will look at entity relationship diagram. As we can see, we have 5 tables here. First, vendor, purchase order, ship to, or no customer. And then we have purchase order item. Then lastly, item. For vendor, the attribute is V company ID, which is the primary key, and then V company name, V contact or department, V company address, V city, V state, V zip code, V phone, and V fax. The next table is purchase order. The primary key is purchase order ID, and we have foreign key, which is V company ID, and date, ship to name, tax, shipping, and other. Then the third table is ship to. The primary key is ship to name ID. We have ship to name, ship to company name, ship to street address, ship to date, ship to zip code, and ship to phone. And the fourth one is purchase order item. We have two primary key here, which is purchase order ID, item ID, and the last normal attribute is quantity. Then the last table is item. We have primary key, item ID, then description and unit price. Okay, the relationship between vendor and purchase order is vendor will fulfill the purchase order, and from vendor to purchase order, the relationship is 1-to-1. This is because one purchase order can only belongs to one vendor, and from purchase order to vendor is one too many, because one vendor can fulfill multiple purchase order. Then from purchase order to ship to, purchase order is one too many, because one ship to one customer can have multiple purchase order. And then from ship to purchase order, we have 1-to-1. This is because one purchase order is only for one customer or one ship to. And then from purchase order to purchase order item, the relationship is 1-to-1. This is because one purchase order item can only belongs to one purchase order. And then from purchase order item to purchase order, the relationship is one to many. It is because one purchase order can contains multiple purchase order item. And then from purchase order item to item, purchase order item will appear some of the base item. So from purchase order item to item, the relationship is one to many. This is called one item can appears in multiple purchase order item. And lastly, from item to purchase order item, the relationship is one to many. This is because one purchase item can contains multiple item, not only one item. That's all from
normalization. So in the normalization form, we have so many attributes such as we have item ID, description, quantity, unit price, total, purchase order ID, day, V company ID, which is the vendor company ID, V company name, V contact or department, V company address, V city, V state, we zip code, we phone, we fax, and we also have shift to name ID, shift to name, shift to company name, shift to street ID, a street address, shift to city, shift to state, shift to G code, shift to phone, and subtotal tax shipping other total price. So for the first normalization form, we must make sure they are not repeating group. Then also all data value are atomic. Each field have a unique name and it have a primary key for each table. So for the first normalization form, we have purchase order table. So for this table, primary key is purchase order ID. So we also have the day, V company ID, V company name, V contact or department, V company address, V city, V step, V G code, V phone, V fax, shift to name ID, shift to name, shift to company name, shift to street address, shift to city, shift to step, shift to G code, shift to phone, subtotal tax shipping, other total price. So for the item table, the primary key is purchase order ID PK and also the ID PK ID item ID. So with the attribute is description, quantity, unit price, and total. So for the second normal form is we must make sure all non-key attribute are dependent on all part of the primary key. So we have purchase order table also. The primary key is purchase order ID. They, we company ID, we company name, we contact or department, we company address, we city, and and so on. Like the first normalization form purchase order. So we also have item ID, item table. So the item table primary key is item ID, description, and unit price. So we found that the quantity is dependent on the purchase order ID and item ID. So we put it out to become a new table, which is purchase order item. So in the third normalization form, which is we got total five table, purchase order ID PK, day, we company ID, shift to ID, tax shipping other. So we have item table. The item table primary key is item ID, description, unit price, and also we have purchase order item. Purchase order ID is their primary key, and also item ID and quantity attribute. So we also got the two new table for the third normalization form is which is vendor and shipper. The vendor we got weak company ID that is primary key and V company name, V contact or department, V company address, V city, V step, V zip code, V phone, V fax. And also the last table of the third normalization form is shift to. The shift to name ID is that primary key, and also we have shift to name, shift to company name, shift to street address, shift to city, shift to state, shift to G code, and shift to phone.
Hi everyone, this is our product guest, which is purchase order system. So in the product game, we have a five class. First is vendor. Vendor is like information about the seller, like the company ID, company name, company department, company address, and the city. And the second class is purchase order. Purchase order is like a header of the order. It contains the order state and the financial summaries like subtotal, tax, shipping, total, price, and other. And the third class is purchase order item. Purchase order item is like a line item. It contains about the purchase order ID, item ID, quantity, line total, and the fourth class is item. Item is like the product catalog. It contains the master data of goods like the item ID, description, unit price, And the last class is sheet 2. Sheet 2 is like a delivery class. It contains the information about the sheet 2 name ID, sheet 2 name company name, sheet 2 street address, and the sheet 2 city. So this the class is in our class diagram. And next I will explain about the relation between them. So for the vendor to the purchase, it is one vendor can have fulfill many purchase order, but each purchase order is linked to exactly one vendor. So, and the second relationship between the purchase order and the purchase order item is like a composition relationship. It means that when the purchase order is deleted, the purchase order item will also delete. And an order must contain at least one item, and the one order can have many line items, but each line item is belong to only one specific order. And the next relationship is between the purchase order item with the item. A specific item can appear of many different order lines across the system. And the last relationship is between the purchase order and ship to order. It means that one shipping address can receive many different orders, but each order is delivered to one specific address. So this is our class diagram and how the relationship in the class diagram. That's all. Thank you.